Coming up, we'll be taking a look at an endangered species. And let's go to the Pringle Nature Sanctuary in Bristol, Wisconsin to learn a little bit about conservation education and some snowshoeing. Then it's time to head to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Sports Show in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Also, we'll join Ed Casas and the Outdoor Wild Kids. Hello, I'm Dean Romano. It's time for Outdoor Wild. I'd like to take a moment to thank some of our sponsors, Stainless Products in Summers, Wisconsin, where you'll find some of the best made quality sanitary process equipment. That's Stainless Products since 1972. Friendly folks and good service. Okay. All right, we're here with Dawn Fleischau at the Milwaukee County Zoo, and we are talking about the polar bear right now. And Dawn, let's begin with that. You've had this animal here for a while.
Yeah, she's been here at our zoo probably about 10 years now.
They live to be quite older in captivity, correct?
Yeah, and that's true of most animals, compared to the wild. They do live a lot longer in captivity. Polar bears in captivity can live into the mid-30s.
Okay.
40s would be a really long life. In the wild, if they live to their 20s, they're doing pretty good.
Wow, so yeah, okay, so 40 would be a long life, but 20s, that's still a long life. I mean,
yeah, they're a long-lived animal. They don't hibernate, so they're active most of that time, which is different than a lot of our bears in North America here, which can also live into their 30s, but they're hibernating half of that time almost.
Yeah.
They're not dying of old age diseases normally in the wild. It's, competition is tough, and once you're beyond your peak of fitness, then your quality of life starts to decline. Probably, low 20s is a long life for a wild bear.
Right.
A wild polar bear.
Yeah. Well, I know in today's times we're having some problems with that because we have of course, the melting ice in the Arctic.
Yeah.
And then, bear dens, some of them actually, the snow, when it warms caves, the cubs don't make it.
Yep.
They've faced brutality of poaching and then now all this. And I know that they do a lot of hunting for seals and things like that on floating ice, correct?
Probably 75 to 90% of their diet in the wild is seals.
Yeah.
And they don't get in the water and swim after and catch a seal. They need to be on the big expanses of sea ice to get to where the seals are and as a platform for hunting them.
Okay.
So without the ice, they really cannot catch a seal.
They can swim, they're good swimmers, but they can't swim forever. They tire out and they can drown.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's been animals reported swimming for, days on end.
Yeah.
Where they probably used to hunt in a certain area, or, hunger alone has driven them out into the water to look for, a source of seals or a source of food, and either the place that they used to go is no longer there because the ice didn't form there,
right?
Or the seas are rougher. That's another thing that's really a problem for them when they get in the water to swim. Is they have kind of a dog paddle, style of swimming where they're just going along the top, and usually it's in pretty calm water.
Yeah.
With the currents changing and all this climate, global things going on, there's a lot of changes in their habitat that affects every aspect of their livelihood and their hunting abilities.
Yeah. Now I know they've been spotted where they've actually moved down to Canada. Does that sound correct or accurate?
There is some populations in Canada, and as food is less available, any animal will start to broaden its territory looking for more food, and coming south is another possibility. Each animal has a fight or flight kind of threshold, and they will avoid, if they're cornered, they will try to flee if they don't have somewhere to go. Depending upon the situation. If it's a mother with young, that's a totally different story. But they will they're not looking for a fight.
Yeah.
That's a potential injury to them. It's using valuable energy. You know, they're very efficient. They're looking for survivability, and fighting, you know, for no reason is not beneficial.
You guys have this water here laid out. It does go in and take a dip now and then, and people can come to your zoo and watch it swim around.
Yeah, we do even have some underwater viewing windows down there. When the bear's in the water, it's pretty neat to see. They'll come, you know, sometimes and put their feet right on the glass, and it's kind of cool to compare, you know, this dinner plate foot. There is a what's called a species survival program. A lot of endangered animals in captivity have this kind of management program overseeing their display, their breeding program and such. So with polar bears, there is a person who is the species coordinator who does recommendations for, you know, which bears should go to which facilities. They look at all of the, you know, holding space in zoos or in captive places, how many bears are available, the genetics of each bear, which animals should be recommended to breed, pairing up males and females. So as of now, our plan is to keep her, but if, you know, that person were to say we wanted you to send her somewhere else,
that would go
you know, we would follow those recommendations because it's for the benefit of the species.
The benefit of the species. A lot of people get the wrong opinions of zoos. They don't belong in captivity. They get a much better chance here than they do in the wild today with all the problems we're facing.
Right, and you know, decades ago, animals may have been kept in, you know, kind of crowded conditions, or naturalistic things weren't necessarily, you know, the first thing they thought of when they were designing exhibits. But really nowadays, zoos, especially AZA accredited zoos, you know, are doing everything they can to educate the public, do right by these animals, preserve the, you know, the wild counterparts.
Right.
And you know, this is hopefully, you know, a representative and an ambassador for wild polar bears, and we hope that people would come here and, you know, make a connection with this animal so they feel compelled to try to protect it in the wild.
Let's take a look at the Pringle Nature Sanctuary in Bristol, Wisconsin. We're with Barry Thomas, who is the board chairman, who's going to educate me a little bit about conservation efforts. So, Barry, let's go ahead with that. You have many programs out here at the Pringle Nature Sanctuary.
Yes, we do. Our primary mission is environmental education.
Right.
So we have a lot of school groups that come out here. We have Boy Scouts that come out and work on their badges and for their promoting their ranks.
Sure.
We have homeschool kids that come out for programs. We have community programs. We also have our wonderful trail system out here for hiking, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and so on. So, yeah, there's a lot going on out here.
Fantastic. You probably bring some of the classes out here, Boy Scouts, things like that, and educate them about all these animals behind us.
Yeah, and the real important part is getting outside, because kids today love to stay inside and play with their electronics.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have never been out in the woods, so a lot of what we do is getting the kids outdoors and experience nature.
Yeah, very important. Well, you know, conservancy is a big part of our planet today, and conservation education is huge, and we really need to get that word out there, because if something goes wrong with our planet, we got a problem, and we are having those problems today.
Just had a talk out here last night. This is the 100th year anniversary of the extinction of the passenger pigeon.
That's something that the show touches on, that we touch on. We're trying to learn the lesson as well, and we try to bring that message to people through conservation education and through people that are at work in the field as yourself. Some of your programs also involve like maybe plant life, plant species life, and different things of that nature. Maybe you have a river out here, or anything like that you educate?
We have a pond that we have a pond study is one of our classes that we offer, and we're also involved in ecosystem management.
Good.
We have a lot of invasive species out here. Multiflora rose and buckthorn and garlic mustard. And, we have work groups that come out and try to remove those things. So. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot behind management, and garlic mustard and buckthorn are two of the ones I've heard quite a bit about. A lot of things people may forget about is we also have ash borer bug that infests ash trees that we need to watch out for, and we're trying to eliminate some of that problem. And there's a lot of times we are asked not to move our firewood from place to place because of that insect. So there are things we need to do to help conserve and protect what it is we enjoy so much. And I would say that's whether you're a sportsman or just an activist, we all have to do our part.
Absolutely.
And, of course, sportsmen do play a big part in helping a balanced system when you have an overabundance of something that has to be controlled. So, and the same with the activists. I think everybody plays a role in it. I think it just we need to learn and to educate ourselves and know what we can do to help with these issues.
That's one part of the message of the passenger pigeon, is that we can have sustainable hunting.
Right.
Obviously, that was not sustainable.
Yeah,
I mean, there were billions of these birds, and they were wiped out by overkill.
Yeah. Well, I think where they have succeeded today and gotten a little bit better with that is they've got the managed hunts, hunt control. I think they're starting to get more into that because there has been so many problems, and there's always a give and a take all the way around when it comes to nature. Well, could you educate us a little bit about what's going on behind us here? I notice you have Please Touch, so this to educate people on furs and stuff like that.
One of the things when kids come out is they're always told, don't touch this, don't touch that. So this display is things that they can touch, they can handle, they can look at. So
a lot of things that a sanctuary like yours carries, just so they're aware, is not stuff that people go out and hunt and bring in here, correct?
Right.
These are usually found,
donated by taxidermists.
Okay.
Roadkill that people bring in.
Well, is there any more that you want to fill us in on while we're out here today, or that's just a strap?
The hole goes like this, and then again there's a clip back here for your excess, and you want to pull them as tight as possible. That's about all there is to it. Okay.
Well, no, it's a little bit of an unfair test, I'll say, to the public, because we have some crunchy snow today, so you can almost walk on it already.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've never snowshoed, so I'm going to give it a try. All right, so I'm about to have a lesson in a little snowshoeing here. Okay, let's see. I have kind of a big foot, so this is going to be a challenge for me. This is definitely all new to me, but here we go. All right, you guys ready? Okay, here we go. Barry, I think you guys got a fabulous program out here.
Thank you.
And I obviously you guys are working hard at trying to bring more people, get people involved with conservation, which we do need in our society today to help raise funds to keep these things alive and hopefully get more people involved.
Yes.
Conservation is us. I mean,
that's right.
Without it, without conservation management, we're in trouble. So we have to have it, and we need it for our planet's well-being and for our own well-being.
Yes. Well said.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, now let's go to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel Sports Show. All right, I'm with Jeff Bowler of Sporting Dog Adventures. And Jeff, you've been on TV for quite a while now.
That worked 4 years running. We actually got our start with Dan Small on Outdoor Wisconsin a few years ago, and then now we have our own show for the last 4 years.
Great, fantastic. Now, Jeff works with the retrievers. You sell the dogs as well, and you work with retrievers for hunting.
Correct. We do sell about 12 litters a year, all three colors. We also do training. We do obedience training, gun dog training, and shed training. Well, training starts when you take a dog home. Okay. So you're working with them when you take them home, and you're basically teaching them how to learn, and then their official training or their real training starts at 6 months old. We actually sell them at 7 weeks, and then we have people bring them back for training at 6 months, and then they stay for 2 to 3 months, and we get them ready for in the field. What people don't understand is you never really train a dog to hunt. They're bred for that. You're actually training a dog so they're under control and they hunt for you.
Right. Yeah.
We do 13 episodes a year. We hunt all over the country. We hunted this year for our next season. We're in Saskatchewan all the way down to Louisiana. Wonderful. And we do everything from shed hunts to waterfowl hunts to upland hunts. We did some really great hunts out in the state of South Dakota this year.
Great. I see your photo here from your show. Yep. Is this your dog here that's in the photo with you?
That'd be Rommel, and my kid walking through the frame here. That's Rommel. He's actually the star of our show. Yep.
That's the star of the show. And I do know, Jeff, that you have a website.
Yep. SoggyAcres.com is our website for our kennel, and then SportingDogAdventures.com is our website for our TV show.
Wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, it's quite an honor. I mean, I'm glad I got to meet you. We're here with Dale Horton of Grassy Narrows Lodge out of Canada. You have a lodge out of Canada now.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about it now. You just started doing this, right? You just opened this lodge?
Yep. My cousin and me are partners in it, and basically what we did is we bought it out last year. We've been working on the deal for about 3 years. His aunt and uncle had it for 27 years, so Wayne's, my cousin's been involved in it for ever since they bought it, so he's real familiar with it. He's the one that sits up there and runs it pretty much all the time, and I'll go up there and relieve him once in a while and help him out and everything. So it's a nice place. It's a boat and lodge. We're located in Miles Bay area in Ontario on Lake of the Woods.
Okay.
Once you cross the border at International Falls or Rain River Vidette, what you'll do is call us, and then we'll meet you at the marina. And at the marina, we have a secure parking spot. You can park there. If you have a boat, you can launch it and follow us in. We'll load all your stuff up. Take you a nice scenic ride back to the marina or back to the lodge, which is about 12 miles, about 35-minute boat ride.
Fantastic.
So once we get there, we offer 2 plans. We have the American plan or the housekeeping plan.
Wonderful.
So if you want to come in and do your own cooking, you can do that. Or if you want to come into the main lodge, we have a very good cook that does all the cooking for us. She's a local farm lady, so she's going to make sure everybody puts on a few extra pounds when you're there. So.
And she don't have a problem with that.
Oh no, she loves her cooking. She loves her cooking, so that's the good thing. We have electric on the dock, so if you come and you have a boat, you need to charge your batteries and everything. You plug in when you come in at night, and you can charge your batteries and everything.
Well, I mean, that's serenity, and a great way to fish and enjoy it. And beautiful country.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. All sorts of wildlife there. We do have bears, but we have our Jed, our camp dog, which is laying out of your sight there. But he'll protect everybody from the bears. If they come in the camp, he'll chase them out of there, tree them, and bark and let us know they're there. But they don't come in too often. But you might see a bear here and there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of deer. So nice thing about wildlife and a lot of birds and everything.
Right. Fantastic. And nice to have home kind of stay, the home cooked meals and all that. That's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So when the people come up there and them that may not know and they want to take their first trip or something like that, what kind of fish can they expect to catch a lot of?
I mean, it's excellent walleyes. You can catch a lot of walleyes. 2 of the biggest muskies that were caught there last year were actually caught within sight of the dock. We had one of our patrons caught a 51-inch off the point here. And then the very next day, you got a 54-inch off this bottom island here. So it was back-to-back 50s. So, but you can catch fish all within sight of the dock. There's some of your best fishing's probably within 10-15 minutes of the lodge there. So it's not very far to go and catch nice fish. We do have guides there. So if you want to take a guide out for the day, or if you want to take a guide out for the week, they're very knowledgeable. If you don't take a guide, the guides are going to be more willing to help you, give you advice, what to use for baits, where to go, and everything.
Yeah.
But it's and that helps.
I think it's phenomenal.
Right.
Now how's your taxidermy business? Now you got that going on, and you're going to keep that going too?
Yep, I'll keep doing the taxidermy full time, and hopefully get up there a little bit more as time goes on. I mean, God willing, the taxidermy's been good, so I've been doing that for over 30 years now.
Yeah. Wow. Where's that located at again?
That's in Paddock Lake, Wisconsin. We're located in Paddock Lake Sporting Goods.
Good.
So it's Any questions, you can give me a call. They have a website. It's backcountrytaxidermystudio.com. We also have a website for Lodge, so you can look up the Lodge. It's Morrison Outfitters.
Yeah, Dale, it's great talking to you.
Yeah, you too, Dean. Thanks, I appreciate it.
I'm glad things are going good for you. Okay. Now if you're ready, let's go to the Florida Everglades and join host Ed Casas and the Outdoor Wild Kids. Take it away, Ed.
Hey Dean, Ed Casas here with Outdoor Wild Florida Kids segment, and we're here at Coopertown. We're going to go on a nice airboat ride, and we're going to go to the Everglades, and we're going to see some gators. Hey kids, you ready to go see some gators?
Yeah!
Woo! Let's go!
I'm here with Jesse Cannon at Cooperstown here in the Florida Everglades. Hi, Jesse.
Hi, good morning. How are we doing?
Good.
Nice
Hey,
to meet you.
Jesse, how long have you been doing this here?
I've been doing this since a small child. Family started this business in 1945, so the oldest airboat rides in the Everglades. I've been here a long time.
That's interesting. What do you think's the most interesting thing you've seen here in the Everglades?
Exactly, it's always changing, so everything becomes interesting. It's a very mystical, magical type setting. Most people don't think there's a lot out here, but there's a lot of different animals, a lot of different wildlife, so something's always changing, makes it very interesting.
Huh. Do you have any problems with invasive species?
We do have, one of the worst problems we were having was with the reptile, the Burmese python, which is producing very quickly, and they've eradicated a lot of it. The cold spell kind of helped eradicate a lot of it, so it's not as bad as it was, but it's still an existing problem.
Huh. And any advice to the kids about the environment or about the Everglades?
Most of it is try and keep it as clean as possible. Try and not dump any pets out here that you don't want, because they can survive out here. You're in a subtropical, so a lot of animals from all over the world can actually survive here because we're subtropical. So it makes a big difference on what can come back here, and it makes it very difficult on the existing.
Huh, very interesting, Jesse. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you giving us a tour out here at the Cooperstown Everglades Airboat Tours. Here we are out in the Everglades on an airboat with our friend Jesse, and we're going to ask Jesse some questions. Got any questions for Jess?
Well, how big is the Everglades?
And then you have about 10,000 square miles of Everglades, about 7.5 million acres.
Okay, go ahead.
How deep is the water?
It really depends upon the time of the year. In the rainy season, we'll be up to 23, 24 inches. During the dry season, we'll be down to 2, 3, maybe 4 inches.
Let's get some more questions.
Right here.
Okay.
What happens if the Everglades ever catches on fire?
If it's got plenty of water in here, it just actually burns the grass across the top, and then you get new growth the very next day. You get fresh growth. If there's no water out here, we're in a drought, it actually burns the soil. So it depends upon if we have water or not. If it's water, it's a perfectly clean burn, which needs to be done on a yearly basis anyways, because the grass kind of chokes itself out.
Samantha, do you have a question for Jesse?
Yes. What is the difference between a male alligator and a female alligator?
The difference between them, basically size. Female very rarely gets to 9 feet. Big males will always be 9 feet or over once they've reached maturity.
Who else has a question for Jesse? Lashanda, go ahead.
Are we in high water or low water season?
Right now we're about mid-range because our rainy season is just starting, so we just came out of almost a drought up to where we're getting up to normal now.
Cool.
Jesse, thanks for answering all those questions. Any chance we can see the rest of the Everglades?
So let's go see whatever else we can find that's interesting.
Awesome, I'm ready. Normally, I don't recommend handling a wild gator, but I have to let you all know that this just jumped into our boat right now. Everybody, we got to give Jesse a warm round of applause. Thank you. You are awesome. Thanks for joining us at Outdoor Wild, our Florida Kids segment. I'm Ed Casas. We're here at Cooperstown Everglades Airboat Rides. We had a great time, and now, back to you, Dean.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed some of what you saw. And try to remember, our planet Earth belongs to all of us, and it's up to all of us to help take care of it. I'm Dean Romano, and I hope you join us on the next Outdoor Wild.